I knew that I had to, if I was going to do this, I had to be tough in doing this, you know.
This is a journey.
Let me take you on a journey.
There will still be
The journey. The journey.
New sheriff in town, and his name is
The journey.
Journey.
This thing is bigger than Nino Brown. This is
The journey. The journey.
What is it that moved you?
The journey. The journey. The journey. The journey.
Welcome back to another episode of The Journey. I'm your host, Larry Robinson, and today we have a Memphis icon that hails from Westwood, BTW graduate. But before we get to him, let's get to our quote of the day. It comes from the great Maya Angelou, and it goes like this. While one may encounter many defeats, one must not be defeated. What does that mean? You're going to fall down, but you just keep getting back up. And you just keep hitting that bell every day. And like I said, you can't be defeated because you know what we made of. You know whose we are. So you definitely know that you can be anything you want to be. Well, listen, this brother is a youth leader focused on the youth. So he has some words for you today. He's a product of Westwood, as I said, went to BTW High School, graduate of Lane, went to Theological Seminary at Mid-America Baptist. He's a leader, he's a father, and he's a husband. So listen, without further ado, we have Brother Marron Thomas. Pastor Marron Thomas. Let me put some respect on his name. Let me put some respect on his name.
Which one of these cameras rolling? Which one? In the R. Kelly?
Absolutely. So listen, man, tell me about them Westwood days early on. Who's in the house? And
Oh yeah, my mom grew up in a single parent household.
Okay,
youngest of 5.
Okay,
and so just saw a lot coming up, you know, with my brothers. So 5 boys. Okay, and just the youngest. So I got exposed to a lot. I saw a lot. I learned a lot. Okay, and it was a ride.
Really, yeah. Really. What about mom? Tell me about mom.
Mom, man, awesome mom, awesome. Who played the role of mom and attempted to play the role of dad, but she couldn't because she's mom.
Absolutely.
And just really worked a lot, owned her own beauty shop. She was an entrepreneur. Okay. My younger days, and just gave everything that she had.
What about dad?
Dad wasn't there. Okay. Dad wasn't there. Dad left. I think we were very, very, very young, and so really didn't get to know him. So grew up without a father. To this day? Oh, to this day, yeah. Oh, wow. Met him, but didn't know him.
Okay, now once again, we got a brother who literally has had to go through life without their dad. So once again, just check out the story.
Oh yeah.
So dad wasn't there. Who outside the family, who outside of that household had the biggest impact on young Marron?
Outside of the household, man, I think it was, I sort of got it just pretty much how I live. Just got it from different individuals.
Name one.
One of the coaches that I had in junior high school. Okay.
Shout him out.
Coach Stephen Bratcher.
Okay.
Coach Stephen Bratcher.
You smiling now.
Yeah.
And what about Coach?
It was just hard.
Makes that smile come to your face.
He was hard-nosed, man. He was hard-nosed. He gave me what I needed just in terms of being hard-nosed, tough, challenged me, made no excuses, no pain, no gain. Okay. That was his philosophy. It's hard, but it's fair. No pain, no gain.
It's hard, but it's fair.
It's hard, but it's fair. And so, he had a dog mentality, you know, and that's what I desired. That's what I needed. And it impacted me.
Okay. Yeah. What decision did you make as a young person that ended up having a lifelong impact, even though you may not have known it at the time, but ended up having a real impact on your life?
It was a decision actually that my mom influenced. I wanted to play football in Little League. Okay. And the kids didn't have the resources, or they didn't turn in their paperwork, so I couldn't play. I think I was in the 3rd grade. Okay. And so never played Little League ball, and I played football my 7th grade year. And we was at scrimmages, and I knew that I wasn't going to play. One of my coaches said, man, you're the best defensive end on this team, but I was on the bench in scrimmages, and I told my mom that, hey, listen, I'm not playing football. I came home from practice. I'm not playing football. I was in the 7th grade, and it was 7th through 9th grade at that time. And I said, I'm not playing. She said, yes, you are. I said, no, I'm not playing. I'm gonna play next year. 7th graders don't play. She said, you're not gonna quit. I said, Mama, I'm not even gonna get in the game. She said, you wanted to play and you're not gonna quit. And so by me not quitting and sticking to it, that has made an impact on my life, because God has blessed me with the stick-to-itiveness to not quit, to not give up, regardless of how difficult times get. And so not quitting in the 7th grade made a world of a difference in my life.
Okay, how different are you from the person you dreamed you would be as a kid?
Oh man, I guess just lacking NFL, being in the NFL,
I understand.
But outside of that, not that different, because even as a younger man, I mean, I was focused.
I got you.
I was focused and I desired a lot. I was very inquisitive. So I felt that something special was going to happen in my life. I just didn't know what it was. I thought different. I desired different. I learned different. I was inquisitive and hungry.
When did you recognize that difference from your peers? Because there's a moment when you be like, wait a minute, I'm a little different than these. I'm wired differently.
Man, I think it had to be really in high school. I didn't really know in junior high, but in high school, I was just a natural leader. I was a leader on the football team, just a leader, whether I did good or bad. I was a leader. I wasn't influenced by the language that, some of my peers used.
Right.
I did what I really wanted to do. I rapped, I played ball, and I was just different, And so even seeing my brothers, man.
Wait, bro. You can't just breeze over you rapped.
Oh man, yeah,
You got some bars?
I got some bars. I was just quoting it to your media team
before
we started.
Well, we gonna get some bars from Marron Thomas. Pastor Thomas gonna drop some.
We gonna get some.
He gonna drop some.
I'm gonna drop
today.
some.
Okay,
yes,
all right then.
Yes, sir.
When did you know you was gonna be okay? When could you look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I can do this thing called life.
Man, my experience was I saw a lot of what my brothers did. And I saw a lot of them, well, all of them use drugs, in and out of jail. We would get phone calls and my mom would answer the phone and she was just so nervous because she didn't know what was on the other side of their call.
Wow.
And when I saw what she was going through, I made a decision that I wasn't going to get incarcerated. I made a decision I was going to make the right decision. I wasn't going to use drugs. I wasn't going to sell drugs. I wasn't going to be involved in gangs. And I knew that I had to be different because I really wanted to make her proud of me. And so at a young age, man, I had a sense of focus. Okay. And even though I got involved in some things that we'll talk about, but my mindset was I'm not traveling that same path. So I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't get involved in a gang and criminal activities growing up because there was a focus. Wasn't the smartest, but it was a level of focus that I knew that I was staying out of the path of criminal activity.
Wow. Okay. All right. Last question.
All right.
When did you know you was black? Hold on. Listen, we're going to be right back on the journey from Brother Marron Thomas. Wait a minute, hold on. Pastor Marron Thomas is going to tell y'all when he realized he was a black man. Stay right there. We'll be right back. This is The Journey on KMG, the Kazukian Network.
This is a journey.
Let me take you on a journey.
Success in life is not a straight line. There are twists and turns in everyone's life, and the more you know about their story, the more you'll understand the process. Kazukian Media Group proudly presents The Journey, a show that features successful black men in Memphis telling their stories of their lives and the ups and downs they've encountered on their ultimate road to success. We believe The Journey will encourage young men and help them see that life is a journey. Watch The Journey, hosted by me, Larry Robinson. Brought to you by the Kazukian Media Group in partnership with the Delta Boulay. Marron Thomas about to lace you one, about to drop some of them bars for you. So on you, Pastor.
Let's go. I'm from the projects. Real talk, I ain't tripping though. I seen pimps in prostitution since I was an infant, bro. I was pre-exposed, so it affected my lifestyle. I was pushing pounds to Jesus. He turned my life around. So now I'm sold out, a 1230 Christian. When he comes out, rolled out, and I ain't trying to miss him. Do what it takes to convert the whole hood. I'm preaching Christ in this news that's so good. Come direct and I ain't subtle, boy. On stutter, boy. I got the Holy Ghost, but still I'm slick gutter, boy. You in a gang, bro. A future convict. You call it brotherhood, but we call that nonsense. Your leader tried for you, but your leader lied to you. 2,000 years ago for sure, my leader died for you. Your leader died, my leader died, your leader stayed down. My leader died, but he got up and so we saved now.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's what we bringing you on the journey. Keep coming back, because we are. Welcome back to the journey. So today we have Booker T. Washington greatest, Marron Thomas, Pastor Marron Thomas. So listen, before we left, we asked him about when he realized that he was black. But we ain't gonna go right there this soon. I gotta find out something else. What's your superpower? What's that thing that you do better than anybody else?
Lead.
Really?
Influence. Yes. Inspire. It's all together. It's an ability that God has given me to lead people and to inspire to get the best out of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you saying that with conviction,
yeah.
bro. You can see it all in your face and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So break that down, unpack that a little bit. When did you know when was that point that you could point in your life and say, you know, this is my calling. This is what I'm here to lead and inspire, motivate, so on and so forth?
It was once I surrendered my life to the Lord when I really knew that this is who I am, you know.
Okay.
I've seen spurts of it and you know, when I played ball, when, you know, I was in college. And so it was just natural. I was just a leader. I was a captain. It was just, you know, but when I really got saved and really seeking the Lord and asking that question, what is it that you require of me? What is it that you want me to do? What is it that I'm passionate about? And really asking that question, finding my purpose. What is it that I do better than most people that I'm passionate about, that I can do in my sleep? And that's what it was, you know, and honestly, also reading John Maxwell.
Okay. I love John Maxwell.
I love him as well, man. It was things that was natural. Like, this is natural. Right. I inspire naturally. I build teams naturally. I encourage naturally. I see the 10 in people naturally. So it's nothing that I'm working to do. You know, I'm sharpening my saw, but it becomes, it's natural to me. So
is it something that you felt? Is it like when you, I mean, cause you gotta know it. It's like almost, for me, it was almost like I heard a voice and I was obedient to that voice. But, you know, how did you know? Was it a feeling? Help me understand.
I think it was a place, you know, I was seeking God because I had gotten in some trouble. And when God saved me, and I won't talk about that. Okay. And when God saved me, you know, I just was like, God, what is it that you want me to do? Because I had a felony and I went to college, and now I can't do what I went to college to do. So I need to know, God, what is it that you want me to do? Okay, well, let's talk about the felony. What happened? So I didn't get in any trouble growing up. Right. You know, ended up going to college. The first person in my family to go to college, I said, Mom, I'm going to make you proud of me. Okay. Because my brothers didn't go. And I said, I'm going to do something. It's make you proud of me. I went to college. I hung around guys that sold drugs and involved in gang activities, didn't get involved. My sophomore year, a friend of mine said, if you sell crack and you get locked up, it's a felony. But if you sell weed and get locked up, it's a misdemeanor. I'm hanging around these guys, and everybody that I was, you know, around, they would come up to me and say, you got any weed? Right. When my friend wasn't on campus, they asked me if I had any weed. Right. I'm like, no, I ain't got weed. But I remember he said, if I get locked up for selling weed, it's only misdemeanor. He gave me 5 bags of weed, a 1/4 ounce of weed. Okay. I flipped it and got 1 ounce. I flipped it and got half an ounce. I flipped and got an ounce. And so now here I am in college at 19 years of age selling drugs.
Okay.
And so moved off of campus. Now I'm selling a lot of drugs. Going to the Freaknik, going to Daytona Beach.
Oh,
I
wow.
got women, I got drugs, I got vehicles, I'm in college doing it big.
Right.
My junior year in college, I heard a boom, 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 boom at the door. Didn't know who it was or what it was. It was the Metro Narcotics. Well, not the Metro Narcotics. It was the narcotics in Jackson, Tennessee that was kicking in my door. I tried to grab my gun off the bed. Couldn't get to my gun. Had I gotten to it, I wouldn't be here today.
Right.
And said, get on the floor. Let me see your hand. Get on the floor. Let me see it. My hand was in the air, and they continued to yell, let me see your hands. Get on the floor. And I said, man, my hand's in the air. It was me and a friend of mine that was there. So we was incarcerated. Had never been a juvenile, never been in any trouble, but we got locked up my junior year in college. We got caught with $5,600, 2.5 pounds of weed and 2 guns. And so we had a felony charge, got out of jail. I was on probation, going back and forth to court for a year and a half.
Okay.
I think we was going back and forth to court.
Right.
And so ended up entered into my senior year. So now I'm selling a lot of drugs and making a lot of money now. I can't sell the drugs personally because I'm being watched.
Right.
So now I build a team and empower them and inspire them to sell the drugs for me.
So you using all these gifts.
I'm using these gifts, not knowing that they're gifts, but not even understanding the leadership, not knowing that, man, this is how executives run companies.
Right.
You get,
Absolutely.
You do it through people.
Right.
And so here I am selling drugs, got these guys, I'm not even touching the drugs. I got a plan. I can't be caught.
Right.
And I came to Memphis to set up a drug deal. I was in college in Jackson, Tennessee, came to Memphis 5 days prior to me graduating from college.
Whoa.
In the Frazier community in which I serve in right now.
Right.
Setting up a drug deal with a guy. He left. We was at Walgreens, and me and a couple other guys, they was going to take the drugs back to distribute it.
Mm-hmm.
He left and came back. He came back with the feds. Get on the floor. Let me see your hands. Get on the floor. So now I'm in a parking lot of Walgreens with guns to me,
man.
already on probation from the previous charge.
Right.
And 5 days prior to graduation, guns to my head. I'm incarcerated. Got locked up. Judge Ann Pierce said, you don't even have a bond. So in other words, all the money in the world can't get you out. You can have Oprah Winfrey's money, Bill Gates' money, Michael Jordan money. We don't want your money, sir. We want you. I was caught with 101 pounds of weed, $17,600, and 2 pistols.
Wow.
Put a hold on them for the U.S. Marshals. So now it's a federal charge. So now my friend said that it's a misdemeanor, but when he didn't tell me that anything over half a pound is a felony charge. So this wasn't even a felony, it was a federal charge. I went back to my cell, talking to God, if you get me out of this place, I'll stop selling drugs. But God let me know, if I get you out of here and you stop selling drugs, you'll still be a sinner that just don't sell drugs. So it wasn't about the drugs, it was about my life. Larry, I surrendered my life to the Lord right then. While I was praying, the bailiff came and said, you have a visitor. The visitor was the bail bondsman. The bail bondsman said that the feds have dropped the charges. Me.
Just that quick.
Me, I'm praying. God, I surrender my life to you right now. While I'm praying, the bailiff came. You have a visit. The bail bondsman said, man, the feds dropped the charges. I'm like, man,
what?
We had a $50,000 bond, and we paid the $50,000 bond that Friday. I ended up graduating from college that Sunday.
Wow.
It didn't mean that it was completely exonerated.
Right.
It was just reduced from a federal charge to a felony charge.
Right.
So I'm telling everybody, man, God did it. God brought me out. I'm telling them the story. Man, listen, God, Right. And yeah, man, we was going to get out anyway because I was locked up with 4 other guys. We was going to get out anyway. No, man, I'm telling you, God did. I'm praying and I'm excited. And they ended up getting out as well. So they like, it wasn't a miracle for them. We got out of jail. We had money and we got out of jail. And so my life was completely changed. Ended up graduating from college and really seeking God for direction. And God opened a door for me to do ministry with young people. I wanted to give to young people that come from a similar background that I came from.
Right.
Daddy wasn't there. Mom working 2 jobs. She did the best that she could. And so how can you make it in spite of your situation?
Right.
You can lose because dad is not there, or you can make it in spite of dad not being there. And so I wanted to give back to young people. And so started doing ministry in the Frazier community, in which I got locked up in. Didn't even see the connection, but started doing ministry there. Going back and forth to court for a year and a half. Now this is the part right here, Larry. Judge Fred Axley, when I went to court, me and the guys, we all went to court, and one guy took the stand, he got locked up. Another guy, because we was going to be sentenced, took the stand, got everybody that I went to court with ended up getting locked up. I took the stand. The judge said, how did you get all of that money? I said, Your Honor, I sold drugs. That's how I got the money from previous drug deals. I was a drug dealer. The DA. So what were you going to do? I was going to continue to sell drugs because that's what I said. I'm not coming here to tell you that I was not a drug dealer, because I was. I said it doesn't take 201 Popular or the penal form or the penitentiary to rehabilitate me, because God has already rehabilitated me. This is what I'm doing with my life. This is how I'm serving. I'm not even fornicating. I mean, I'm talking. The judge said, I may need to send you to jail and you can preach in jail like Paul and Silas. Right. And so he said, let me take a recess. He took a recess and he came back. And he had some paper in his hand, and he started hitting himself in his head with his paper. He said, I don't know why I'm about to do what I'm about to do. He said, but I'm going to give you a probation officer that you're not going to like, and they're not going to like you, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, but I'm going to see you back in this courtroom, but I'm going to give you another chance. Wow. And I didn't do a day. God bless everyone else that I was the ringleader. Right. Set the deal up. Right. And did not get incarcerated.
Now, did they think you snitched?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how did that go down?
It went. I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting. It was one guy that was in the courtroom that was from the hood. Right. He was just in there for just randomly in there. Right. And he saw all of it. Okay. So this guy, and he knew I didn't. And so some of the guys, these guys were my friends. I know
they thought you snitched.
Yeah, we went to, they went to jail.
Everybody went to jail but you.
Absolutely. And so I saw these guys once they got out. One was he was my partner. He knew I didn't, but one of these guys, and they got out. He got out of jail, and I moved back with my mom because I had to have a completely transformation. I needed to transform everything that I did. So I was moving back with my mom. He got out of jail. He was riding down the street, and I flagged him down. And I said, man, listen, let me get something straight. I said, now, look at how the situation went. So there was no way I could have snitched. I said, if I did snitch, first of all, ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. I said, if I snitched, ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. But I didn't snitch. And then, Larry, I started trying to tell them about Jesus. Now, because I was saved and God changed my life, and I'm trying to tell them about Jesus. And I went back in the house and I was so convicted, because what God showed me was this: how you tough, you're a tough guy. And you telling this man that ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it, because you trying to still have this street image. Oh, wow. and talk tough. And he let me know this. He said, if you was in his shoes, you would have thought that you did the same thing.
Right. Exactly.
He said, the miracle is I did it. The miracle is I did it when your back was against the wall. All odds were against you. You would have thought the same thing. So when people say that you did, that's a testament of what I did. And man, listen. And so these same guys that thought it, now God is blessed. These same guys have gotten in trouble. Most of them gotten in trouble, and they've called on me because they know now it's been over 20 years, over 25 years. Right. So they know now, it's the real deal, because I would have gone back. And so these guys have called and see if they can do business with me at the church. I mean, so, but early on it was, he did it. And God blessed that thing, man. Wow. He blessed it, man. The guys that actually did snitch, that set us up, and everybody knew this the guy that snitched. He didn't even go to court the next day. So we knew he snitched. Right. I had friends that said, man, listen, we're going to kill him. I said, nah, man, don't kill him. I said, man, God didn't. I said, man, don't kill him. He didn't set us up. God set us up. God, I needed that. Had that not happened, I wouldn't have gone to jail. Had I not gone to jail, I wouldn't have met God. Had I not met God, I wouldn't be where I am right now. That needed to happen. God set me up for this day right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to go back.
Come on.
When did you realize you were black?
So I understand the question, when I started doing ministry, and I was encouraged to raise funds to do ministry. And I began to think, and they said, one of the guys that was doing the class, he said, now what you need to do is tap into all of your resources. Right. And send letters out and get, raise money for your ministry. I'm like, tap into my resources. I don't know nobody with money. And I don't know, I got maybe some drug dealing friends with money, but I don't know anybody. So he was teaching as if I was a white man who had a lot of friends with money, and he was asking them, for resources. I was like, I know the guy at the store. I don't, and so it really resonated with me that, man, I don't, I'm black, and at that time we didn't have a lot of resources. And I didn't know a lot of people with resources, and also beginning to do the work that I'm doing. And understanding that. And so I knew it, but just understanding that at a certain point, you'll know that you're a black man, and I never had a problem with that, but it's just, it'll be reminded.
Okay.
You'll be reminded that you are, and so, but that was just one of those moments that I knew I was, but it was just, man, you're talking about raising funds because in what I do at that time, and even now, it wasn't a black man's thing to lead an organization where you have to raise resources from people that don't look like you.
Okay, now, got to church, you're 75 years old, you're retiring, they doing this big event for you in the neighborhood of Frazier. They're going to have you walk out. Every superhero has theme music. What's your theme music when you walk out?
Dun, 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 dun.
So you Chicago Bulls, right?
Out of title, baby.
Out of title. Okay. All right, then. All right, cool. Okay. All right. What has Memphis meant to you? Go ahead. Come on with it.
It's 1-2. We are the champions,
We are the champions.
Yeah. So
you won.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
That will probably be the one.
Really? We are the champions.
Yeah.
All right. What has Memphis instilled in you? What is that thing that you feel like Memphis, if you go anywhere, Memphis put this in me?
Memphis put this in me. It's that grit and that grind.
Okay.
It's the grit and the grind. Even when I was in college and I was in Jackson, there was a different mentality when I came back to Memphis, even from a drug standpoint. They were weaker, in Jackson in terms of what I did. When I came to Memphis, I knew that I had to, if I was going to do this, I had to be tough in doing this, And so, but even in doing ministry, it's the type of ministry that we do, the type of people that we come in contact with. We're not soft, and we real, we transparent, it's in your face. And so I would say that grit and that grind.
Okay. All right.
That toughness.
So tomorrow, you're going back to Westwood. You see the house that you grew up in. Go say, I'm going to go in here. You open up the door. It's young Myron sitting there at the table eating a bowl of syrup. What would you say to young Myron if you got a chance to talk to him today?
I would say what I tell so many young people. Man, you choose your actions, but you don't choose your consequences.
Say that one more time.
You choose your actions, but you don't choose your consequences.
Okay.
So be wise in the decisions that you make, because good is not good enough. You did good until you got into college. Choose your actions, but I chose to sell drugs, but I didn't choose to have 2 felonies on my record.
Okay.
So you choose your actions, but not your consequences.
Okay.
So consistently choose wise.
Wow. I would take that as the statement that you would make to young people. Mm-hmm. But now I'm going to ask Pastor Marron Thomas to look right in that camera right there and talk to these young people. Give them something that they can take with them from watching or listening, or anybody can take from watching or listening to this episode of The Journey.
It doesn't matter what you go through. You can make it. It doesn't matter if your dad is not there, if your mom is on drugs, if your mom is not there, if you felt rejected, neglected, disrespected, not owned, not loved, not cared for. it doesn't matter. You can lose in life because of, you can make those excuses and say, because my mom wasn't there, because my dad didn't care for me, because my grandma had to raise me, because I was exposed to this, because I was, blessed into a gang, so to speak, at a young age. I can't make it because I have felonies. I can't make it. You can say that, and you can choose that lifestyle. You can say, hey, because of these things, I can't make it. Or you can say, in spite of these things, I am going to make it. I want to encourage you that you can make it, that you will make it. And also understanding you have a choice in your actions, but not in the consequences that comes with it. So it doesn't matter any obstacle that you've experienced. You can overcome that. You can overcome it. You can beat it. People told me all the time, what you gonna do now because you got a felony? Or what you gonna do now because you got 2 felonies? Oh, this is, the white man ain't gonna do this, and the white man ain't gonna do this, man. You think a white man, a brown man, a pink man, a green man, a black man gonna stop me from doing what God has called me to do? He's not. He can't. I went to school to be a teacher and went to school to be a coach. And now, because of my record, I can't teach in the city schools. I can't coach in the city schools, is what they say. I coached the Georgian Hills Middle School football team for several years and one of the winningest coaches in the city of Memphis with 4 city championships, 2 state championships. I empower schools. I empower principals. I speak at graduations. So what they told me that I can't do it, no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing it on a totally different level. They could not pay me enough money to work in the city schools. But had I listened to the naysayers and people say that I can't do it because I got into what I got into, I wouldn't have made it. I didn't listen to it. I listened to the Lord and I stayed focused. Listen to the Lord, stay focused in spite of what you've experienced. Understand that God allowed you to go on that journey to get you to the place that He wants you to be. You can make it and you will make it. That's what I say to a young person.
Wow. One man counter many defeats. One must not ever, ever be defeated. Larry Robinson for our guest, Pastor Marron Thomas. Man, I'm telling you, we're going to keep bringing them. You keep showing up, because I am. Next time on The Journey on the Kazuki Network. Thank you to our partner, the Grand Boulé of Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity Delta Chapter. To hear more incredible stories like this, be sure to download the Kazukian app from the App Store or Google Play, or check out the Journey Memphis podcast on all your major podcast providers. Also, check us out on the Kazukian Network.